want you to talk about like how you got started, like how you found it works, what you were thinking about before you joined, how long you watched, who you enrolled with, and then also like what has changed like from your previous stereotypes of like what you labeled it works as and how it's changed now, and what your goals are for the future.
I was on social media, or do I need to unmute myself? I'm
No,
good.
I already unmuted you. You're good.
Okay, so I think it was last November. Erin added me on Facebook, or no, sorry, Instagram on Erin Tweet, obviously. So she added me, and I just followed her post. I was in the middle of doing home renos, and it was just crazy. And I remember I was taking a break from painting, and I saw her post about hair, skin, and nails. I was like, oh my gosh, like, and that's honestly, I'm not much of a thinker when I come to online shopping. Like, it's bad, and I should be. But I think I spent like a couple days just like snooping through her Instagram feed, and so like right away I messaged her. I was like, do you ship to Canada? Because I want to try this, because I've tried so many products to grow out my hair and nothing ever worked. So obviously, yes, we ship to Canada. Awesome. So I got the product like a week later, started taking it. And by the time I went to Vancouver to visit my husband's family for Christmas, they had noticed a huge difference in my hair growth. And it wasn't something that I was kind of paying too much attention to, but everybody kept commenting on it. I was like, sweet, this is amazing. So after Christmas, or around Christmas time, I messaged her and I was like, okay, I think I want to sign up as a DT with you. How do I do that? So I jumped in right away. I didn't start posting for about a month after I signed up. So I started on excuses basically. And it wasn't until I think she did like, or you guys did a competition where it's like the sticky competition, or it's like
Yeah.
get it customers. And I was like, you know what? I want to get a product. Why not? So I jumped on it. I asked a ton of family and friends, and I signed, I think, like 9 customers that week. And so I was super excited. I was like, awesome, I'm going to do so good at this. And at the time, we were living with my parents because the reno was happening and just the house was ripped apart. And so I started making excuses again. It's like, this isn't the right time, blah, blah, blah. Like my pictures suck because I hate the lighting in my parents' house. And so eventually I jumped on board all in. I was like, the only thing that is going to stop me is myself at this point and my excuses. Nothing else is like, and I started posting, and I had friends from high school, like friends, who were like, oh, you've become one of those people. And like, I think you naturally have to get over the fear of what others think about you too when you jump into any MLM, really. And I don't know why, like, I don't know why it's such a thing for people where it's like, okay, I could be a waitress and taking your payment, and you don't care that I'm a waitress, but somehow you care that I'm in an MLM business where I can move up in the ranks, and like everybody starts at the same pace. So I was always okay with MLMs, always open to them, just never felt like one quite fit for me. So once I started with the hair, skin, and nails, that's when I jumped in.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So, what rank are you now, and what rank are you going for?
Charted for diamond, so definitely going for that. Very close to being charted for double diamond, so I'm kind of like in my head pushing for that. But it took me a long time to promote to ruby. I was really slow, and then kind of picking up the pace of it here. So
That's so awesome. Okay, so one question I do have for you before I move on, is you didn't start posting until a month in, and then you just kind of saw these like products that you were like, I could get this stuff for free. Like, what the hell am I doing, right? So what like what was Erin doing? This is like such a good question because I'm like so curious to know the answer. Like, what was Erin doing that whole month that you weren't just posting?
well, she checked in with me for sure, and but she just obviously she kept posting and posting, and like she's moving up the ranks, and it was getting close to conference, and then she's like walking down as like I think it was number 14 income earner at the time or something, and that was like in February, so shortly after I decided to start posting. And I was like, okay, I need to like start taking this seriously. This is like literally a life changer in my hands. And it was just a matter of putting myself to the side and kind of stepping out of my comfort zone. I was
I
homeschooled
love that.
for almost my whole entire school career, what do you want to call it that? And so I was always a very shy person. And a couple years before I joined It Works, I had my own like shoe business. I made kids shoes and I sold them. So I had like an online personality, and I feel like I can kind of step out of my box online. But it was also a matter of finding myself. And I
Yeah.
found so many amazing leaders who inspired me, even people who were like just a little bit ahead of me, not even just ambassadors. Like I think of like Kirsten Wales was just a huge one for me. Like I love her so much.
I love Kirsten too. She's the best.
Amazing. And she's just like, she inspired me the way she posted and pushed, and that was what really, because you feel so lost when you sign up. It's like
Yeah.
trying to find ideas, and I think it's so important to follow people that you aspire to be like.
I love that. That is so freaking amazing. I love your story. Okay, I'm gonna come back to you. Okay, Natalie, you're next. So how did you kind of get started? What made you want to join? What did you think about this freaking crazy business like before you joined? And how has your journey gone so far?
Oh my gosh. Well, okay. So let me start out by saying, Cassie first messaged me in like 2015, and I told her no for years.
I'm literally dead.
Literally 2 years. Like I was like, God, like, and I ignored her. And even like, it was up until like, I think it was like last summer, like, so 2016, I dyed my hair silver and it was longer. I thought that was like the cool thing to do. And it like fell out. Like it totally fell out. And so I tried everything. I tried like the Viscal. I mean, I did everything. And so finally Cassie was like, oh my God, girl. So I have to ask you, like, how's the Viscal working out for you? And, okay, hold on, babe. Sorry, I have 2 girls. So she asked me that. And so it was like the perfect timing too, because at that point I was like desperate because like my hair literally had fallen out. And I tried hair, skin, and nails. I don't know if any of you have seen like my before and afters, but they are literally like, I mean, they're insane. Like it's literally like, it's completely, it looks like a different person. They're that insane. And so after that, like I just started trying new products. And so it got to the point, like I've been doing it for about a year. And I finally, like when the $9.99 deal came around, I saw it and I was like, you know what, like at this point, like I know this stuff works. Like regardless of all the misconceptions and the biases that, you know, I had been believing like literally for 2 years, basically, I was just like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm totally going to do it because like it works for me. I've had 2 kids in my stomach and I played soccer all my life. I've played for the Olympic development team. My body looks better now after 2 kids. Like, and it's because of these products. Like I literally, and that's why like when I saw that deal, I was like, this is obviously a sign. Like I'm just going to jump and I'm going to do this. So my first month in July, like when I actually really started, because I pretty much started like right away, I signed about like, I think like 30 loyal customers, and I'm actually a teacher. So when I started back and work in August, it was like a whole different ballgame though. Like, because I had to manage my time better than, you know, I was doing in like the summer. I could just sit down, I could talk to people. And that was like my warm market too, you know? And so, I mean, last August was rough for me. Like I struggled, but I mean, it taught me how to get out of my box and push myself because, you know, because I went through like my warn list and everything, I didn't have to message people. People saw me. I posted like I was supposed to, like from all the trainings, you know, and I tried to just like, I literally, the one thing people say is that like when they see my posts and they talk to me is they're like, girl, you just have so much energy. Like I don't even get it. And I think that's like a huge help thing. I think that's like what, like the motivation and stuff like that. But I mean, I had to quit waiting around for people to come to me. And like, I literally was just talking to Cassie about this. Like I'm pushing myself and like, I've just been messaging people like crazy. And it's crazy because I'm already like almost doing what I was doing back in July now. Like August was just like a learning curve for me. So.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. And one thing that I want to point out to everybody is that, I think that $9.99 like messed a lot of people up because they were like signing all these people like crazy. And then they're like, oh, I'm charted for this promotion. And they're not really even close to like 2 promotions down to where that really is. So like mentally, I think it messed a lot of people up, but you always have to focus on like what it actually did do. So like Natalie joined the business because of the $900 kits, you guys. So like, even if you only found one person on your team who's working because you had planted that seed 2 years ago, like it was worth that promotion, because maybe that person never would have joined for $99, not because they didn't have that vested interest, but just because they were like waiting for a sign, you know, those people, and they would have been waiting forever. So here's the thing is that when we're thinking about 999s, like she said, like, you know, it was just a learning curve for her. And I always say, failure is part of success, but failing does not make you a failure. Okay. So it doesn't mean that just because you've made mistakes in this business, the only way I've ever learned is because I've messed up a lot of freaking times, you guys. And literally the only reason I'm more successful than anybody on here is because I've just messed up a lot more. And all I've done is just been open to learning from it. So I love that you said that it was just like a huge learning curve. And I love that you literally like watched for like literally 2 years. When you said 2015, I literally like crapped my pants because I was like, are you serious? Like that's when we joined. Like I was a totally different person in 2015. So like I can't even begin like to imagine how you're like shooting yourself in your foot and being like, oh my God, why did I not join earlier?
I wish I would have, because like I just told her, I was like, I was going back and I was reading the messages and everything. And like, you know, I watched her literally for like 2 years. And then now I look at it, I'm just like, I should have just joined. Like, what was I waiting for? Because at this point, you know, when she asked me to, like, I got my master's and stuff like that. And, you know, I looked at it from the like perspective. I was like, you know, at this point, like I have 2 degrees. So why would I need to do anything like this? But really, who doesn't need like an extra $500 in your bank account? Who doesn't? Seriously, like be real.
Totally. And I think that like when I had girls previously, cause I messaged Erin, but when previously I had people reach out to me about a company like this, I was like, I have my master's, like, I don't need this crap, you know? And like, I would look down on people, and that is so horrible to say, but like, sometimes that's why, like, when I share my story, I say in my story, I'm like, this is for like, I got my master's, and this is for somebody that's literally has 7 degrees or somebody who has like 0, because you just have to have like a brain cell for it. And sometimes you can develop that over time by just watching and learning. But I bet you that was like, in the same token, you had such an advantage because you literally watched. So like you knew pretty much what she was doing from watching her for 2 freaking years, you know?
Yeah, it's almost like I've been mentored for 2 years, because I didn't just scroll past, but like, I mean, I watched her for 2 years. And she
has like really long posts. So I'm sure you read like 14 paragraphs. I'm only joking because she's on here.
And so like, I watched that for 2 years. And then finally I was like, all right, like I'm just going to do this, because like, I feel like after you try the products and everything, I mean, I realize a lot of people jump in, they've never tried them. But for me, like, I was like, these are seriously the bomb. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why was I not I'm like, and then I felt bad. I was like, I've ignored her for like over a year, and I'm like, now I'm the bad person. Like,
no, I think it's like so awesome. And like, now you can't ever be impatient because she had to wait 2 years for you. So anytime you're like, God, why isn't this person joining? She's just going to be like, well, I had to wait 2 years for you. So shut your mouth.
Exactly. When people ignore me, I'm like, well, you know, like maybe that's karma. Like that's what I thought.
No, I love it. You're so awesome. Okay. I'm going to come back to you. Okay. Misty, where are you at? I'm gonna unmute. Oh, there you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. Okay, tell us your story, how you got started, and how your journey's been so far.
So I got started with Allie Lawson. She messaged me, or she had friended me on Facebook, and I accepted her because we had mutual friends. But she like interacted with my post like so much, and I was like, who is this person? Like, why is she commenting on my stuff? Like, I don't even know her. And so like I had creeped her profile a couple times, and I saw that she worked for It Works. And I didn't think twice about it. And then she had messaged me, and she's like, hey girl, like you're just so beautiful, and I love seeing all your posts. Like, she honestly sounded like super relatable, because I've had people in the past come to me about working for It Works, and I was just like, I thought about it, but it didn't feel right. Like, it didn't feel right with that person. And for some reason with Allie, like, it seemed like the perfect time to do it, because, you know, we were so tired of I was working 3 jobs, and we were, you know, bouncing around with the kids for daycare. And then my fiance at the time, he was working 2 jobs. Like, we were just like, we can't catch a break. It seemed like the more we worked, the more in debt we were, and we just couldn't catch a break. It was one thing after another. So like, when she came to me and she asked me, we had just gotten our taxes back. So it was like perfect timing. I was like, you know what, like, $99, we're never going to have it after this taxes, like all these taxes are gone. So why not? And so I signed up with her, and the next morning I woke up and I almost had like buyer's remorse. I was like, what did I just do? Like, I just spent $99 on this. Like, what? And so I messaged her and I was like, what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do. What do I post? I have no clue what I'm doing. And so she sent me like videos, and she sent me like a format to like how to post and everything. So while I was at one of my jobs, I listened to the videos that she had sent me, and then I was like, okay. So I set alarms on my phone for every 2 hours reminding me to post. And every time they go off, my husband's always like, post, 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 because that's what they say. Like, they tell me to post. And so, and I still have them set because there's times I'll forget, but usually I'm already in that routine where like I can post before they go off, and it's like, okay, I'm good. But I just started posting, and then people just started reaching out, and my kids' daycare was like my gold mine. Like, that's where I got my distributors from. That's where I got my loyal customers from. Like, I didn't know what I was doing. And Allie's like, holy crap, do you even know what this means? And I'm like, nope. You told me to get my 3 distributors. You told me to get 4 customers. That's what I'm doing. And so I was what they call ignorance on fire. Like, I was just kicking ass from the get-go. But then it seemed like I was like signing loyal after loyal and distributor after distributor, but nobody was taking off. So I lost rank, I think, twice. So I'm still only a distributor going for executive again, because I'm building mine and my husband's team. Because I have a few good distributors, they just haven't taken off yet. So, you know, it's been a really big learning process. And, you know, after I lost rank the first time, I got in a rut, and then I lost it again, I got in another rut. So I'm still kind of coming out of my rut. But, you know, it's all a learning experience.
Yeah, for sure. And I love that. Like, I love like when people are so open and honest about it, because I think like a lot of times we're like, we hit this goal, and we just think we're just going to get like paid as whatever rank that is for like the rest of the time. And so I think when that happens to us, it's like people either quit, or people either go diamond and go double diamond and go past it, because they're like, holy crap, like, this isn't something where like, hey, guess what? You can't just show up to work the next day just because you got a big promotion. Like, that's just not how it works. And so you have to kind of keep the momentum on your team. And I always say like, the way that you do get better is that you take what you went through and you teach your team not to do it. And you just show them what you learned through the process. And you know what? Like, the crazy thing is that this is so funny, but when I was like younger, my dad said it was like so hard to raise me, because like he would tell me like what not to do. And like, I would just have to do it myself, because like, I would just like, he'd be like, hey, don't jump off that. And I'd be like, he's like, your sister just like got hurt doing that. And I would be like, well, I'm not going to get hurt. And I would just like jump off of it, you know, like, and I would have to learn for myself. But I think there's some people like that. And so I think that sometimes we take so much responsibility to like make every single person on our team successful, when at the end of the day, your job is to give them the tools to be successful, but you can't do that work for them. And so that's an awesome reminder. And I'm sure you've had to remind yourself that plenty of times, because you have to realize that like, you know, you can't keep taking responsibility for their success. You know, the way they're going to be as successful as possible is if they keep doing if you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, because they're going to follow. Just like Alyssa's story when she was saying, I just kept watching Erin even after she had joined. She was a month in, and she was watching her at conference, and she was like, what the heck am I doing? And I think when you just keep being successful and you just keep growing, that's the best way to lead your team. And that's what they call leading from the front, right? So I think that that's like a tough lesson to learn sometimes. And, you know, it's unfortunate that we have to learn the hard way, but like, that's going to be such an awesome story when you go double diamond, triple diamond, you know, and go to all these ranks, because you'll have that amazing story. So thank you for being so honest. Okay, I'm gonna come back to you. Okay, hold on. Kelsey, where are you at? Kelsey.
I'm right here.
What's up, girl?
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, my dog just decided to have some fun on the floor beside of me, but it's all right. My husband's picking it up, so we're good.
Have some fun on the floor. I'm done. Okay.
Right next to me, too. Like, we have this big old house thing on the right next to me. Yep.
We can hear and we can see you, but good thing we can't smell you. So anyway, tell us about your story. Like, you guys, we didn't plan any of these. Like, we did not like do any type of planning. So all these questions I'm literally just throwing at their heads. Like, they have no planning. But if you could just kind of tell us how you got started, how you found the business, and what went through your head. Like, what the hell am I doing when you joined?
Okay, so I was that person that didn't think it worked. I was that person. I was the person who was like, "There's no way they get $10,000 bonuses." So because I was with another MLM company, and I was like, "There's no way." And then finally, look, my accent. Oh God. But finally, I was just like, I got so mad at myself for, I keep seeing Nicole's post, Nicole Calhoun is who signed me up. And I keep seeing her post and I'm like, that darn $10,000 bonus. What is that? And I'm like, I've got to figure it out. So, I'm a very red person. So very money oriented person. So I go to Google and I'm going to find everything that I need to know about It Works. So before I message Nicole, like I want to know it all. And so I did that. And then I reached out to Nicole the next day and I was like, girl, okay, so I just did all this type of research and I think I want to join, but I'm going to need to ask you a couple questions and I'm literally going to bug the snot out of you for about like the whole day. And then I'm probably going to join your team. Like that's just what's going to happen. And I'm going to quit what I'm doing because I was with my other MLM company for 3 years. I had recruited 60 some people. Like with you guys, I would have already been I would have at least been the double diamond or something like that with you guys. And instead, I was still at the bottom of my other company making what an executive makes now. So when all these other companies, they say they make money and all of them are really good, but I'm telling you, It Works compensation plan is so hard to beat. Like it just really is. So I asked her all my questions and I bugged her forever. And then I finally just joined. And since I joined, I just ran with it. During that $9.99 promotion, I boxed myself for a diamond. I'm like 10 people away for a double diamond. But I've really learned to, I have really big goals with this business. Like my ultimate goal right now is double. And then of course I want to go all the way to the top. But I've really learned, to live in the moment, so to say. This business has definitely brought me personal development. So I needed that so much in my life. And I did not have that. And I needed it so badly. So it brought that to me. And just because of that, I'm grateful for it. But when I first started, I was setting all these no goal is too big, but I was setting these big goals and I was setting deadlines that was going to hurt me instead of help me because I was going to get very, very discouraged. And when I finally realized what I was doing that kept me, I was like, why am I not on fire about this business? Like I was with the other one. Why am I not with this one? I don't get it. I don't understand. And then all of a sudden, just one day it hit me and I was like, well, because you're setting yourself up to fail. Like that's exactly what you're doing. So I just reworked everything. I was like, you know what? From now on, I'm just going to, I'm going to run for this and I'm just going to do what I know I need to be doing to build this business. And as long as I'm doing that, this business is going to work for me. And when I started doing that, within 1 week, everything just kind of blew up for me and the fire came and the fire hasn't left. And I wake up every day just ready to do what I need to do and to take care of my kids and to be happy. And, I'm an executive now, about, I think it's 200 and some GB away from Ruby. And then we're just going to keep going from there. But the $9.99 deal, like you said, may have brought some people that aren't going to do anything, but you know, it brought me some really good people too. And I'm really grateful for the people that it brought me. So, ready just to run and have fun. And the only other thing is that the other company that I was with before this one, I literally worked from sun up to sun down. Like, I don't even care. Got like 4 hours sleep. I was always working. My husband absolutely hated it. He would always get so mad at me. And then with this business, like, I don't have to do that anymore. Like, this business is so simple, and my other one just wasn't. And guys, I already make the amount of money that I made with that company and 65 people on my team in 3 years, and I made it with this company in a month. And so now I'm over here. Why did I not just start here? Like, why did I not start here? Because if I would have, things would be totally different for us now. But it doesn't matter, because like, God is completely in control of our family and our life, and he put me in the right place at the right time, and that's what he's going to keep doing. So I'm just excited.
Oh my gosh, you are seriously so amazing. What I love about your story is the fact that you were saying, like, you know, you appreciate like your compensation plan. Like, I wasn't one of those people. Like, when I joined, I was literally like, are you serious? Like, I put in so much work, and my freaking paycheck was like, I think my first paycheck was $34. My second paycheck was $150. My third paycheck was like $850 or something. And I was like, $34. Are you freaking kidding? But guess what? I forgot about like 2 fast starts that I got and stuff like that. So, but it's funny because I think that people, if this is their first network marketing company that they've joined, they just don't understand how amazing our compensation plan is. And that's me included. And the other thing that I love that you touched on is self-development, because everybody knows self-development is my jam. Okay. Like, I live, eat, sleep, and breathe self-development.
Me too.
If you are not growing, you are dying. So get the hell out. So if you, seriously, the funny thing is though, is like, I was actually talking to this other girl. She messaged me. She's from a different company. And she was not messaging me like about quitting her business, but she was just like, girl, you are rocking your business. I was just wondering if you would meet with me and like go over some like tips that you have just like in general about network marketing. And I'm a big believer in like, the more I can help other people, the more I'm going to get blessed. So like, I always like am like totally fine with like helping other people any way I can. And so I went and I met with her, and I was telling her about self-development, and I was like, you guys don't do it? She's like, well, how do you break up your day? And I was like, well, I try to do like a third self-development, a third helping my team, and a third running my business. Right. And she was like, wait, what's self-development? And I was like, personal growth. Like, what do you mean, what self-development? And she was just like, no, like, what do you do like for that? Like, do you just like listen to like the Bible or something? And I was like, I mean, you can do that if that's like what your jam, you know, like if you want to listen to Esther 9:15, go ahead. But like, the other thing that I was just talking to her about is she was just, so she like that day downloaded like Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success. She listened to it on audiobook, and she was like, girl, where has this been all my life? I'm literally like, dude, I don't know what you guys are doing over there, but you need to get your ish together. So it was just so funny because that's such an amazing point, because I didn't even think and realize that that wasn't like a big deal to other companies. So it's so cool to be a part of a company that encourages you to grow as a person, because it's helped me in almost every aspect of my life. Like, you know, and as a mom, as a wife, as a business owner, as a friend, as a daughter, as a sister. So like, that is so amazing. That's such an awesome point. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your story. That was amazing. I'm going to come back to you. Okay. Keep muting myself, trying to mute you. So like, that's what's happening over here. It's fine. I'll be fine. Okay. So Alyssa, I'm coming back to you. And I saw Kirsten on here. Kirsten, have you been on here the whole time? Because she was like, Kirsten Wales was like such an inspiration for me. I was like, Kirsten is awesome. She would die if she heard that she got called out on the Zoom.
Yeah, no, that's what I missed. I got in at like 8:10.
Yeah, what the hell? You're not as cool as everybody thinks you are. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. It's recorded, so I'll watch it and I'll like replay it all the time.
Yeah, you're like the heart of eye emoji all the time. Okay, no, we love you. So, okay, Alyssa, tell me what's like one thing that now, you know, you feel like helped you the most to get to where you are? So like, if you could give your former self one tip, what would it be as far as like, what is it going to take to get to Ruby? Like, because most people on here are like wanting to get to Ruby or learn how to help other people get to Ruby so that they can go diamond, right? So what's one thing that like you were like, I had to do this every day, or this was like a game changer for me to think about it this way?
Sure. Funny, you were just talking about it. Self-development, 100%. I was never much of a reader at all, like ever. And it would be more like I would read to fall asleep. That's how. But so now I start my day every single day with different books. And that has been the biggest game changer for me. So we went to, and I started doing that, I think, beginning of June. It took me a long time to even think of doing self-development, but.
So what changed your mind? Like, what was like one day you were like,
I realized I just needed to do something different. I was signing distributors who were doing nothing. And like, I would text them and be like, hey, how's it going? But my leadership was lacking. And I was like, how do I grow this? And the only way was through, like, of course, watching other leaders, but development, the biggest thing for me. Absolutely. And I started with Rhinoceros Success. And that just got me so pumped up. I was like, these books are actually really good. And I read
like these people haven't been lying to me this whole time.
I was like, books can be cool. Like, no, I picked it up and I read through the entire book on my flight back to Vancouver. And I was like, I'm so fired up right now. And I messaged like every single one of my team members, got them on Zooms. And I was like, okay, we need to push you. It's time to start like getting you a paycheck as well and getting everybody pumped up, because the success of your team is your success as well. And helping them catch that vision and being able to display to them what they are capable of. Like I had a girl, one of my DTs, she signed up like, I think March, and she like just last month was it was just dead for her. And she's like, I'm going to quit. And I think it was like 2 hours. And I just like pumped her up, and I told her I believed in her. And now she's signing distributors, she's signing customers, and like, so you as a leader, you need to be at that point, and you mentally have to be at that point. And that's how I got there, was through absolutely reading Tony Robbins, amazing. But like, yeah, so definitely
Literally, it's amazing. Like my rule about self-development is like, anytime you be listening to music, stop listening to music and turn on self-development, because that is just like such an easy way to just like get started with it. And then you can graduate to books if that's something that you feel like you're ready for. Because I feel like my progress with self-development wasn't just like, I haven't read a book since college and all of a sudden I'm going to pick up this random book, you know? It was definitely a progression of like, I want more, like I'm ready for more, like I was eager for it. And you kind of have to mentally prepare yourselves. Like I bet you people have to listen to like 10 million people tell them about, you need to do self-development before they actually freaking do it. Like you're not the only one on here that's been that way, because I was that way. And I was like, I just don't have time for it. Like I'd rather spend that 15 minutes messaging or whatever. But like literally you don't have time to not do it, because until you do it, your business will never get to the point that you want it to. So I love that. I love that tip. Okay. What about you, Natalie? What would be your one tip that you would say that help you get to like the next level or where you want to go?
So personally, okay, so right now, I hit Ruby last month, and originally, like when I had made my timeline, like I really wanted to go diamond at the end of this month. Like I really, really wanted to. But like I'm going through some stuff right now. Like my oldest daughter has a different dad, and we were living in Dallas. And when we moved down to Houston recently, we had a geographic restriction in our orders that like I broke when we moved down here. So we're having to like completely redo our orders. So basically, we're just like in this big custody thing. And the situation I'm in now is that I probably don't even want to go back to work like in August, because I need to focus on like what's going on with my family. So like I told my team, I was like, you know what, like I don't even care. Like I want to go triple diamond. Like that's where I am. Like I don't care about anything else. That's where I'm going. So for me, like I'm the type of person, like when I say I'm going to do something, like I'm just going to jump in and like that's what I'm going to do. So time management and self-development are like my my key things with this, like, because I mean, I teach, and then I'm also assistant principal intern. So like, if you don't make time for it, like, you have to make the time and you have to want it. Like, you can't just be in it and then like, okay, like, and procrastinate really. Cause like, you had actually said something about procrastination. I was watching your video the other day about procrastination, and like, you don't realize you're procrastinating, but like, you really are, like, and it makes you like have to check in, and you have to be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this right now. And so, I mean, I listen to self-development in the morning when I'm getting ready for like an hour. I put it on in the car on the way. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning, like when I'm taking my girls to like daycare and school before I get to work, and we're listening to self-development in the car because they fall asleep anyway. During my planning periods, I'm messaging people. I'm doing more self-development, and I'm watching stuff. So to me, like, if you want it bad enough, like, you will just make time for it. Like, that's basically where it kind of like where I am right now. Like, I see something and I have a vision, and that's just, it's where I'm going, like, without a doubt. And so I think that's what you have to know. You have to believe in yourself, and you have to have that energy and know that that's where you're going no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. I love that so much because it's so true. And like, I can give you all these cool analogies, but like, the basic of it is like at the most basic level, how are you going to tell somebody else you believe in them if you don't even believe in yourself?
Right. Like, you have to want it.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, you have to, like, when's the last time most people have been told that somebody believes in them? It's probably like your freaking mom. Like, and it's really sad to think about it that way, but like, it's been your mom or your principal or your teacher when you were like in grade school, most likely, because like those are the people that like have done that for you. Like, you don't have your friends that are like, do this, I believe in you. Where the hell are they after you join It Works? Like, they're gone. Exactly. So like, you have to just like develop like thick skin, but have a soft heart. And that is like one of the hardest things to do in this business. But I think that when you do it, you become like a person that you want to become, and you are like learning how to help other people. So like, I feel like the more you focus on like believing in yourself and knowing that you're going to do it and not having any doubts and not letting doubt creep in, then like the more your team's going to believe you, and they're going to be like, hell yeah, we're doing it. And making feel like they're part of something. So that's an awesome point. I love that tip. Okay. Miss Misty, what would you say your number one tip is right now? Do you want me to unmute you, Misty? Misty, I unmuted you.
Okay, I thought I was already done. I'm gonna piggyback off of what they said, and I'm gonna say self-development and time management. But the biggest thing that's helped me has been organization, because I had one It Works notebook that I would write some like Zoom notes in, and then I would jot down like my customer like IDs and something somewhere else, and I was losing stuff, and I was just severely unorganized. So it's like when it came time to switch up my loyal customers' orders, I didn't know where I put their information. So, you know, I lost a lot of my loyal customers because I was unorganized. So my loyal customer retention like was terrible. And so I watched some Zooms on my customer retention, or like to how to keep your loyal customers. And one of the biggest things was organization and treating them right. So with getting organized, it made it easier for me to not only deal with my loyals, but also make it to where I know when to check in with my team, like stay on a consistent basis with them, because I was so caught up in my momentum that I wasn't focused on helping my team see that they can, you know, have the same momentum as myself. So, you know, I was doing all the things that I could to make them successful, but I wasn't giving them the keys to make themselves successful. And I think that's the reason the majority of them fell off, was that, you know, they saw me doing it, they weren't being able to do it, and they didn't really know how to, you know, jump forward. And I think that was self-development and organization has been like the biggest help for me to. I
love that. And like something too that I think like when you do get organized, and this is like not a strength of mine, so I'm not going to talk that long on it because I still struggle with it. Just being really honest with you guys. But I think that one of the most amazing things about it is that when you are organized and you treat your customers amazing, you get more customers because you know that they're going to benefit from the products. However, if you're slacking, it's like a bad cycle because you're like, oh my God, my people aren't getting results because I'm not telling them how to use it properly, and they're pretty pissed about their auto shipments. So maybe I shouldn't have anybody sign up. And like you get this like subconscious in your mind where you're like, I shouldn't sign any customers because I'm not organized with it. So like literally it will change like how confident you are, because when you literally pour into your customers, they were like, listen, like Alyssa, Natalie, like they were people that were freaking former customers, you guys. And so realize that if you take care of your customers and you check in and you're just as excited about their results as they are, and you tell them like, hey, how are you using the product? Like, let's make sure we're using it correctly. Let's make sure you're not getting an auto shipment that you don't want. Let's make sure all these things. In that way, like you're going to be like, oh my God, people are loving your products. Like I'm ready to have more people. And like, it's literally going to change your whole mindset with that. So that is an amazing, amazing tip. Okay. What about you, Kelsey? What do you think?
So I'm all the way with personal development. It's been said by all four of us, but I don't even care. I went on about this on my Facebook earlier today, and it was like, it was like epic. Like I can't, but like that is like the best thing. What you said a minute ago, my other company, I love them. And it was very hard to decide to switch to you guys. But when I got here, this is where I'm supposed to be, because guys, the other companies, they don't teach you to do the personal development. And oh my God, like I needed that in my life. And I wake up, with that other business, I'd wake up, I'd be like grumpy and just tired throughout the whole day. One thing could ruin my whole day. Like I let everything around me control the way I felt. And starting to do personal development, like I get up at 5 o'clock every morning now, and guys, I'm a night owl, and like I learned how many hours of sleep I needed and when I needed to go to bed to be able to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, and that's what I do.
Wait, how did you learn that? I need to learn this.
So those people, I like to read. I read all the time. Like y'all, they say I was on one of these Zooms and they were talking about how like millionaires read like 2 books a week. Well, like I read like 3 books a week, so like it's coming for me. Like I'm a reader, and I read about like sleep, and I would get 8 and 7 and 6, and I would drag, and then finally 5 hours of sleep is just like my magic number. I can get up and I'm great and I'm ready to rock and roll and I'm ready to do the day. So I do 5 hours of sleep every night, and my body is just used to it. And
like no naps at all.
I mean, sometimes I'm like, if it's like rainy outside or something and I get just like tired, I'm gonna go sleep. But most of the time, no. Like, nope. When my kids nap, I work straight up. That's what happens.
Dude, you are freaking amazing. Like, I need you as like a life coach in my life and be like, get up. You don't need any more than 5 hours.
Get up, like right now. Like that's what I tell myself. I ain't even gonna lie. But like usually, like I was this big old night owl, and I would just stay up all night long and get up at 10 o'clock in the morning. And when my son got ready to go to school, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be the reason he's late. Like, I mean, like I was going to be the reason he was going to be late, because nope, like I can't get up. But then I started waking up 2 hours before everybody else, 5 o'clock in the morning. And I get up like clockwork now, and I get up and I make my coffee and I do my self-development. And there's this thing that me and my kids do. We're really big on movies around here, and like Trolls and Moana are like things for kids, and we jam out to Trolls every morning. And people think I'm crazy, but I don't care. All they see is me, a mama in the front, just jamming out. My windows are checked, so they can't see my kids. They just see me, and I don't even care. My kids get pumped up, and I'm already teaching my kids personal development. Ever since I started doing that with my kids, my son runs right in that classroom. Like, so it even makes a difference in my kids. And had I not been brought to this business, I would have never known that. So I get my mind right every morning, and I look at everything as there's a reason it happened to me. If I did not hit that goal I wanted to hit this week, there's a reason I didn't hit it. Like, that's just the way that I look at everything. Like, I could literally get pulled over and get a ticket and be like, I don't even care. I'm just going to pay it. My day's still going to be great. Like, I don't even care. I'm just going to pay it. Like, it's going to be all good. My worst can pay for that. It'll all be good. So, like, I don't even care. I just refuse to let anything get in my way anymore. And I'm going to be happy where I am, and I'm going to know where I'm going, and I'm going to get there.
Oh my gosh, you are seriously awesome. I love it. I want to read you this thing. I'm going to find it real quick in my notes. Okay. It says, every successful woman I've met, truly successful, is happy where they are in life. Though they have aspirations for the future and new frontiers they've yet to conquer, they are genuinely satisfied with how they have spent their lives so far. Mistakes, triumphs, and all. So like that just like literally reminded me of you, because I'm reading this book. It's really good. If nobody's read it so far, it's called Successful Women Think Differently. And it's awesome. And it just talks about like 9 habits that make you healthier. And like that's where that quote was from. And it just talks about like, if your mind was like an electronic billboard, like what would it say about you? Like, what kind of person would you be? Like, what thoughts are running through your mind? And I literally like I would want to be reading your electronic billboard, because you are just so awesome. Like, I feel that energy from you. So like, that is amazing. I'm just like so excited for you to see like what happens in your future. Okay, Alyssa, we're back at you. This is probably gonna be the last question. Like, I didn't even go through that many questions because I'm just vibing off you guys. Okay, so what does like an average day look like in the life of Alyssa? How do you fit the business into your schedule? And like, what do you feel like has been like one of the hardest parts about fitting it into your schedule, but also like how you overcame that challenge?
I think to begin, now that I do self-development, that's how I start my day. Start your day right? So I grab my coffee, I go sit on my front porch with my dogs, because that's kind of like their playtime outside, and I'll just read. And I'll sit and I'll do that for about 45 minutes or so. I head inside, and I work for my dad as well, but I get to do that from home, so it's really nice. So I can kind of fit, it works in throughout my like breaks and whatnot. So things that I have to absolutely do: self-development, obviously adding to your network, it's so important. Building relationships, that wasn't my strong suit to begin. I can add like nobody's business, but to actually go step outside of your box and message someone just to get to know them, or even like their things, and genuinely be interested in this person, was something that I had to teach myself to do, honestly, because I'm a hobbit. I am happy being home, not talking to anybody on like a typical day. So to kind of switch into that is kind of where I had to go.
A hobbit.
like my husband will pull all the shades, like he's a hobbit too, so it's not good.
That is so funny. Well, at least you can be like a hobbit and still run your business.
This makes the best business for someone who's super introverted, I guess.
You don't like seem introverted though, so like.
Yeah, and that was part of my growing process too, is like you have to step outside your box and talk to people, and like that's the only way you're going to grow in this business. And that's another thing with like following people, and I do that. Like I literally creep so many It Works pages every single day just to get motivated and inspired for my day post, even because like everybody wants to get to ambassador and above, but everybody has such different personalities. And it was really cool to see the new Millionaires Club like last week, and you see all the different personalities between like Tiffany Hare and like Erin. Like they seem like polar opposites, but they got there, and they got there at the same time, and they do it your own different way, right? So you figure it out as you go.
Yeah, and I think like it's interesting because it's like we put these labels on ourselves, you know, of like, oh, I'm shy, or oh, I'm outgoing, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that. And really like, is that like really just a story you're telling yourself, or is that like the truth? Like, you know, who do I really want to become? And like knowing that you can change that course that your life is on is like so cool. Okay, so somebody asked, can you please say more about how you guys build relationships?
Yeah, okay, so I always do it the private message way. And now I do it when I add people. It's just like, hey, thanks so much for the ad. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you. And a lot of times they'll message back, and if the conversation starts flowing. But those people, because you're adding so often, it is so easy to lose those messages, especially in Facebook, because like every time you add people, they end up in your messenger, and it's like, where are those people I was talking to? So the biggest thing is, like, I keep a notebook of people when I add them, when I have a conversation with them, and the date. And it takes me a couple of weeks before I'll follow up basically with like something about It Works. If we're having a flowing conversation, then it'll be sooner. But that's how I've done it. Facebook has been the easiest for me because I find nobody checks their Instagram messages.
So one tip that I'll have for you too, because I love that tip about just messaging right away, like thanks for the ad, and like getting in their inbox, because that thing pops up anyways. Sometimes I'll just do like the little wave thing, but with Instagram, if like I really want that person to like check their inbox, like a lot of times I'll comment and they'll say back like thanks so much or whatever, and then at that point I'll respond to them. I'll be like, hey boo, check your inbox.
Oh, that's smart.
And like on the comment, and they'll literally be like, oh, okay. And then they'll like respond right back. And even if they did open it, I still do that, because then they feel like they have to respond at that point, because I'm like creeping on them. Yeah. So I do that. Okay. Thank you for sharing. So, Natalie, what about you? What's the day look like with you? Cause I know you said like you're crazy busy. Oh, hold on. You're muted.
Oh,
okay. Go ahead.
Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, that was actually an excuse I gave to Cassie like all the time. Like that is like when I actually responded to her and like wouldn't ignore her. Like I was like, girl, I'm just too busy. Like no. And so I think that actually works out to my favor now, like when I'm talking to people, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. So yeah, like I wake up about 4:30 now, and in the morning, and I get ready. And as I'm getting ready, I listen to my self-development. I listen to it on the way to work too. So I knock that out first thing in the morning, and I like it that way because like also, especially with like how awesome these Zooms have been lately, like it makes it's just so inspiring. Like it really is. And you're listening to everybody else like first thing in the morning, and you're like, holy cow, like I'm gonna be on fire. Like you just can't stop me. Like seriously, that's like what has made me feel like it's just so inspirational. So that's like what I love listening to in the mornings. So the way it works is basically I start out, and I mentioned I'm an assistant principal for the first half of the day, and I teach the second half. So especially the second half, like I really can't touch my phone. So, but the first half, like I make it a point to, I especially like right before school starts, I add everybody in the morning. So first thing for my day, not only have I done my self-development, but I at least add like 50 people on both Instagram and Facebook. Like I do both. And then I try and keep adding like periodically throughout the day too. And I really like some of the tips like that people had added like the past couple Zooms too about like going to places and stuff. Like I think that's really neat. But so I add and I do the self-development first thing in the morning. And as far as messaging goes, that's something I was like just talking to Cassie about, because that's something like I am like really, I think messaging is kind of like where I was making, like I said, August was like my weak month. So like I had to quit making excuses, and like I make myself do it now. Like at night, like I make myself do it. Like if I'm just not going to go to bed before I do it. And if I have to do it at lunch and not eat lunch with like the rest of the teachers because I have to message people, like it's just a sacrifice I have to make. Like it is what it is. Like to get where I want to go, then if that means like not interacting with people for 30 minutes, like that I work with, like that's fine. I get to see them all the way till May and June anyway. Like I'll just say hi to them in the hall, because I mean, I don't, at this point, like where I am, like I don't want anything getting in the way of like where I want to be. So if that means literally like just giving up some time up, like to do things that I normally do, like then that's just fine. It's just like what I have to do. But I mean, as far as the night goes, like I have 2 girls too. And so like when people tell me that they're busy when I message them, I'm like, boo, like I know, like trust me, like I know what busy is. And like that's a good thing, because it helps me relate to people, and it helps me build that relationship too. Like when they're like, well, I'm in school and I'm doing this, and I'm like, girl, like I'm right there with you. And then they kind of feel like, you know, they're talking to an actual individual and not just someone who's trying to like sell them on something. So I think that's actually worked out to my advantage too. Like when I tell people like the type of job that I'm working at the same time while doing this.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I love that because I think it's so freaking true. Like I remember like when I joined and I hadn't made that much money, I would like complain to Erin and I'd be like, well, you make all this money, so you can just like sound way more credible. She was like, no, like it's not even like that, whatever. And I literally tell my girls that all the time. I'm like, you guys like have such an advantage over me because people think that like I have all this time in the world and that I've always been this way and that it was so long ago that I actually worked a full-time job that like nobody can relate and like all this stuff. But like it's like if somebody, which I never talk about on a potential call because I always talk about them and not me, but like if somebody were to be like, so like, you know, how much money do you make? I would be like, well, the average triple makes this. And me and my husband are both triple. Like that wouldn't even feel real to them. So like that sucks because I'd be like, okay. I always just talk about like I joined for an extra $500 a month. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I think my connection kind of like.
Can anybody hear anything?
I can't.
No, Kelsey's like frozen.
Oh, okay.
Am I frozen still?
I think you're good. I can hear you now.
Okay, I was freaking out.
Okay. All right. Hold on. So I think I like moved my computer and it like got all messed up. Okay. So if you guys can hear me, just put like a thumbs up or something in the chat. Hopefully. Thumbs up. Okay.
I can hear you.
Cool. So I just think that at the end of the day, like you guys have an advantage because am I still frozen?
No, I can hear you.
Okay. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Freaking tell me.
Somebody tell me now. No.
Somebody tell me. Okay. Hold on. Some people are like texting me like, is it me? Am I good? Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just gonna go so hopefully people can hear me. So, like I was just saying that I think that everybody should realize that like I don't even talk about what I make on a call. Literally, I'm just talking about what they want to make. I'm talking about when I joined, I just wanted an extra $500. It's not about like the thousands and thousands of dollars people make because they don't join to make me money and they don't join to make you money. They join to make themselves money. So if you can really emphasize that fact with people and just be like, okay, how much is your income goal? Like what would make a difference to you and stop focusing on like how much you haven't made yet, then you will see all these blessings be poured out because you're helping other people cast a vision for what they want. So I always try to just like focus on that. So that's an amazing point, Natalie. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Kelsey, I'm glad we're ending on you because give us what your day is like. Tell us what a day in life of Kelsey looks like. You kind of touched on your mornings a little bit, but tell us what the rest of your day looks like and what was something that you've recently like overcome.
Hold on, Arthur. Be quiet. Like, I need a door for my office, you guys. You can build a $40 really nice barn door DIY. I'm doing it, so that's happening. Like, so to close a door. But anyway, of course, I wake up at 5 a.m. and I automatically, I literally read in the dark. I got one of these little lights, and I read my personal development. And then I get ready for my day, get the kids up. We go to school. As soon as I get home from taking Nathan to school, it's about 9 o'clock. I automatically go into my list. I automatically like go straight into my list, or if I have errands to do, I'll run my errands, then come home. No matter what, when my foot hits this door from getting back from running the errands or taking Nathan to school, the to-do list comes out. And my to-do list, I don't know if everybody's seen the little video. I don't know her name, and I feel so horrible for not knowing her name. But a girl posted a little video in the group about like how she kept up with her day that looked like this. Can you guys see that? Like how she had like her stuff. And
yeah, it's Misty. It's Misty. She's on here.
Yeah, girl, spoke into me because like that's who I am. I need that list. I need to color it in. And I'm a planner person. I need a plan. I need to write things down. And when she done that, like I was like, why didn't I think of that? And I just like automatically made it. And that thing's like amazing because I literally get to I go straight into that baby and I just start coloring everything in and I'm going down the list. I'm getting it done. And then I pause for a little bit. And I'll play with Emma or I'll do whatever Emma needs. And then I'm kind of the same way with the messaging part. Messaging is something I really had to get used to. It's not something I ever had to do with my other one. And Lord knows, Nicole, I think, is on here. Like, I had to get over thinking it was cold messaging and more look at it like, what if I don't message somebody that's really going to want this and then they sign up with somebody else and I'm going to miss out on a rock star? I started looking out what I was going to miss out on if I didn't do it instead of the bad results that could come from it. But I don't really care about bad results. They can say what they want, I'll unfriend, I don't care. So I jump in and I do that, and then I do my messaging in like, I automatically send out 30 to 50 messages every single day. That's something that cannot not be done. I don't care how busy of a day I've had. I don't care if I'm sending it out at 1 o'clock in the morning, they're getting sent. Like, I don't care what I got to do, they're getting sent. If I can't do anything else, adding to my network and sending those messages is my number one thing. So I make sure those get done, and I kind of do them like, I'll set a timer, be like, okay, all you got is 5 minutes. Better send as many as you can, and I'll send as many messages as I can in 5 minutes, and I don't reply until that timer goes off. I'm not allowed to reply to anybody until the timer goes off. And I've learned that I like complained about sending that many messages, and apparently I do it in 10 minutes. So it really felt longer than that, but it wasn't. So that's what I do, and then I just keep marking until everything's off the list. I connect with my team bright and early in the morning, right before I leave, backtracking, right before I walk out that door to take Ethan to school. We load up in the car and I set the music up and I automatically post to Facebook and send a quick message to my team group and make sure that everybody's ready to rock and roll for the day and everybody's, already excited about the day and getting everybody pumped up for the day, like with all this energy that somehow is inside of me. And I just go down that list, guys, and then I spend time with my kids and go down the list and I get done what I need to get done. And people don't think that I'm busy because I get to be a stay-at-home mom, and I've always been that way. But like, guys, at one point I went and got a job to get away from my house and to get away from my kids and to get away from my husband, because it is not all like smelling like roses in here all the time. Like, things get hectic up in here with these kids. So like when people tell me that my biggest thing too, I'm a little like going everywhere, but like with messaging and interacting with people, I got really caught up in that. I got really caught up in the whole, oh my God, how do I know who all I've messaged? How do I know who all I'm interacting with? Who do I interact with? Like, I asked way too many questions to myself. Like, I was like way overthinking this. And I finally just was like, you know what? This is how I'm going to do this. And from then on, like, when I send those messages, before I respond to anybody, I use Trello a lot. There's a lot of videos about that. Everybody's talked about it. So when I do that, I'll go back in and I'll write down all those names. And then when the day's over, I'll go and move them into appropriate boxes. Who just read it? Who responded? Who wanted it? Who commented back that, oh, I can't, but I'm broke. Well, guess what? We gonna talk about earning you some money. So that's kind of like what I do with messaging, and I just had to get out of the comfort zone. And the text replacements too, like, didn't even know about those babies, but they're really good. So, but that's basically it, guys. I make my little list and I make sure I go down it and I make sure I get done what I need to get done while spending time with my family. And another thing, like, my house is a hot mess right now. Like, I should really clean, but what goes through my mind when I get home is, you know what? When I make a whole bunch of money, somebody can come in and clean my house every single day. So I'd rather make the money and get somebody to come in and clean this baby than me have to do it. So that's what I'm gonna do first, and then I'll clean later. Like, it'll be here tomorrow if I don't get to it. It's all good. Y'all should see my pretty pictures on Facebook. Most of the time, that blurring in the back of my photos is blurring out the big old laundry pile that sits on my table that really needs to get done. But I don't care. It'll get there. Like, it'll get there. Maybe. We'll see. But
I freaking love it.
Business is more important. Like, so that's priorities. That's all I can say. Priorities.
I love it, dude. I always say the same thing. I'm like, folding my laundry isn't going to make me any money, so I'll do it later. So anyways, Misty, I'm going to come back to you because you are the girl that Kelsey was talking about, made the bullet list. I never even freaking heard of the bullet list. I was like, what the hell is this chick talking about in this video? So I love it. So Misty, if you could just tell us about what your day looks like. I know you work full-time too. That would be super awesome.
Okay, so yes, I did make the bullet journal, and that's actually helped me a lot because I really struggle with like the self-development and my time management. So with that, it's really helped me be like, okay, in the mornings I will wake up, but I'll lay in bed and I'll add, you know, to my network, and I'll check my messages and respond to anybody that had replied to me from the messages I sent out the night before. So I just sit there and I add and I message, just laying in bed before I even get up out of bed, and I'll post my morning quote. Then I get up and I get ready and I get the kids ready and everything. I don't even dare try to listen to self-development in the morning because my kids are just mommy, mommy, mommy. So we get the kids ready and I get them out the door, and in the car, you know, we're listening to like their ABCs and the Wheels on the Bus and, you know, all that fun junk that you get to listen to as a mom. Get them to daycare, and then on my way to work from daycare, I will listen to some of the Zooms, and then I also will listen to the Zooms while I'm cleaning. And I post throughout, like while I'm cleaning, I can post throughout that, but I also work another part-time job, and there I cannot have my phone. So I use Buffer, and I let that post for me, since I'm not allowed to have my phone. But then after work, I pick up the kids, you know, we listen to their music on the way home, and then at home, I will add to my network again, because in the mornings, I try to like split it, add and add, and then I will message, you know, I'll follow up with any people that I have messaged the days before, and then I'll message new people. And one thing that's helped me interact a lot is you get to make the groups on Facebook. So Allie was actually telling me that she makes her groups based
like a
on
list?
what month. Yeah, like the list. Like, so she makes it based on the month that she added those people. So she'll have like a March list and an April and a May. So that's what I started doing. And so I can go to those different lists and interact with those people. And then I know like, okay, well, I've interacted with these people for at least 2 months, 2-3 months. I can go ahead and, you know, send a message out to them, because it's not like I'm cold messaging them since I've interacted with them for 3 months. Because that was one of the biggest things I was scared of, was cold messaging. So it's actually made the cold messaging a little easier, because I don't feel like it's cold messaging since I've built a relationship with them for 3 months. So the list has been a really big help on Facebook.
That is
to
amazing.
build the interactions.
I love the month organization thing. That's awesome.
Yes, that's really helped a lot.
That's really awesome. Okay, let me see if there was any questions before I go. Oh, where do you add your friends from? Where do you add from?
I just go, like, I'll scroll down a little bit on my Facebook, and the first like little boutique that pops up like on my news feed, I'll just click on there and I'll go to one of the pictures that has like 3.2 million likes, and I just go through there, and that's where I add all of my people from, is like little boutiques and stuff that pop up as an ad on your Facebook.
Yes.
And then Instagram, like I just go to the little search icon, and I kind of just go through there and find people, or I'll click on other people's profile that kind of look like, okay, like they've got a lot of followers, and I'll kind of go and like follow people through their followers.
Oh my gosh. You guys, this was so freaking amazing. Like, I am so pumped up right now. I'm literally like gonna make my bullet journal. Like, no joke. I'm
Yay!
so hyped. I freaking need one. But thank you guys so much for spending the evening with me. I know it's probably not the most ideal way to spend your Friday night, but I appreciate you guys. And like, I know all of you hopefully learned something. And I hope that you guys all enjoyed sharing your story, because we all literally took so much away from it. I know I'm speaking for everybody when I say that. So thank you guys so much. And I will post a recording up here soon, and hope you guys have an amazing night. Bye.